At the beginning of the film, a hospital orderly, Powell, takes a corpse covered in a white sheet to the morgue. The corpse is briefly opened, revealing a beautiful young woman. Poe takes a picture of the corpse with his phone, and we learn that the woman is Ana, a famous Spanish actress. Ana's sudden death at a party that night has shocked her fans, and everyone is curious to know what caused her untimely death. Poe shows Ana's picture to his two friends, Ivan and Javi. Excited by the opportunity to see Ana's body, the two rush to the hospital to request to see it. Poe complies, and the two friends are taken to the morgue where they see Ana's lifeless body lying on the table. In the room, we see three men standing over Ana's corpse. Both Ivan and Javi are stunned by the sight before them, but Ivan goes a step further and reaches out to touch Ana's body. Javi immediately scolds Ivan, but it's clear that both men are trying to suppress their desire for the beautiful woman. Despite Javi's doubts, Ivan suggests they take advantage of Ana's body and use her for their own pleasure. He reasons that they have a unique opportunity to touch one of the most famous women in the world, and it won't matter because she's dead. But there's a catch. Evan isn't sure if it's even possible to sleep with a corpse. Then Poe interrupts. He disgustingly explains that it's entirely possible to have sex with a corpse if they use saliva as lubricant. Paul brags even more to his friends and confesses that he's taken advantage of dead girls at the hospital before, and he's never been caught because no one checks on corpses anyway. Paul's revelations embolden Ivan, and he becomes even more determined to spend some time alone with Ana's corpse. Paul immediately agrees to join in, but Javi is still hesitant. Javi tries to stop them, but Ivan ignores him, leaving him frustrated. He leaves the room and Paul follows him. From a crack in the door, Paul watches Ivan crawl over Ana and rape her. Afterwards, Ivan shows no remorse and even suggests that Javi should pretend Ana is alive and use her body as he did. Javi is disgusted by his friend's behavior. Meanwhile, Paul returns to the room to take his turn. However, as he rapes Ana's lifeless body, he suddenly realizes that her eyes are wide open in fear and that she is alive. Paul screams in shock, scaring himself and waking Ana from her paralyzed state. Javi and Ivan then go to the morgue to find out the reason behind Pau's screams. They are shocked and horrified to see Ana alive. While Javi wants to inform the authorities, Pau and Ivan are hesitant to do so because they have already committed a heinous crime against her. Amidst the chaos, Javi tries to calm Ana down by giving her a glass of water, while Pau and Ivan are terrified. Javi tries to convince his friends to get help, but they fear they will go to jail if they do. Their conversation is interrupted when they hear another orderly entering the morgue with a body. In a hurry, they cover Ana's body with a white sheet and hide in the next room. The orderly comes in and takes away the new body. Ana tries to scream for help, but the orderly's earphones and loud music muffle her voice. She becomes trapped and cannot find her way out of the morgue. However, the orderly eventually leaves, and Ana is left alone in the room with the dreaded criminals. Meanwhile, those responsible for her plight return to the morgue, still arguing about what to do. Javi is adamant about asking for help, while Pau and Ivan are afraid of the police and the consequences of their actions. They are sure that Ana will report them. Tensions rise further when Javi tries to forcefully take the cart containing Ana's body, but Ivan does not let him go. Ivan grabs Javi and the two confront each other, ready to fight. But they are surprised to find that the door is locked and they are trapped inside with Ana. Pau reveals that he forgot his keys outside, and they are trapped in the morgue with no way to get out. Meanwhile, Javi starts screaming for help, causing Ivan to fight him. The fight takes a tragic turn when Ivan accidentally stabs Javi and he falls to the ground. Now both Pau and Ivan panic because they have committed another crime. Although Javi is still alive, he is bleeding profusely and they fear something bad may happen. Pau thinks quickly and grabs a towel to stop the bleeding. Desperate to save their friend's life, they drag Javi into the next room and pin him against the wall. As soon as Javi regains consciousness, Ivan apologizes for her actions and explains that she never meant to hit him so hard. The situation is tense, and both Pau and Ivan are overwhelmed with anxiety. They know they have to get out of there and ask for help, but they can't shake their guilt. As the night progresses, the situation in the morgue goes from bad to worse. Another employee unexpectedly enters the room and interrupts Paul's illegal activities. Paul thinks quickly and concocts a story about being locked alone in the morgue, in order to get the other employee out of his trap. However, the curious employee doesn't stop easily and expresses a desire to see Ana's corpse. Paul understands the gravity of the situation and takes the employee out of the morgue through the now open door. Meanwhile, in the room next door, Javi's condition is deteriorating rapidly. Ivan tries to revive him, but it's too late. Javi is already dead. After successfully getting the other employee out of danger, Paul returns to the room and finds Ivan distraught and Javi dead. The reality of the situation hits them both as they realize the grave consequences of their actions. Both know that they could be sentenced to life in prison for what they did tonight. As the tension in the room grows, Ivan hatches a horrific plan to dump Javi's lifeless body outside. But just as they are about to execute this plan, Anna speaks up. She pleads with them and promises that if they let her go, she will not tell anyone about their actions. Paul is instantly convinced by Anna, but Ivan is more skeptical. He insists that Anna cannot be trusted and tells Pau that they must make sure that he does not leave alive. Pau protests and argues that Ivan was the one who killed Javi, but Ivan reminds him that he was in the room when the incident occurred, making him an accomplice in the eyes of the law. While the group is arguing in another room, Anna musters up the courage to stand up for herself. She walks over to Javi's body, grabs his phone, and manages to contact her father for help. As Ivan and Paul return, they are filled with a sense of impending doom. It seems they have reached a point of no return. Anna tells them that she has just told her father that she is awake, so they can release her without consequences. Despite everything being okay, when the phone rings, he quickly tells Anna's father that he has the wrong number. Frustrated, they decide to take Anna back to the morgue. However, their fear overwhelms them, and in a moment of madness, Ivan tries to strangle Anna, but she immediately regains consciousness and comes up with a plan. He orders Paul to tie up Anna while he goes to get a large trash can that they can use to dispose of Javi's body. Next, we see that Paul has acquired a roll of gauze to tie up the poor victim. Despite Ivan's pleas to let him go, Paul is adamant on his decision to follow Ivan's order. However, Anna tries to convince him and tells him that Ivan will put the entire blame on him and reveal that he was the one who strangled Javi. She pleads with Paul to let her go and promises that she will not reveal his involvement. However, troubled by conscience, Paul follows Ivan's orders and ties up Anna, leaving her alone for a while. Amazingly, Anna manages to crawl out of the morgue, although her legs are not working properly. Meanwhile, Ivan returns and finds that Anna has fled, and he and Paul go looking for her. When she finally escapes them, Anna makes it to the elevator. She gets in, and just as the doors are about to close, Ivan opens them at the last moment and pulls her back in. Inside, the ruthless creature, aka Ivan, tells Paul that they must put this incident to rest by killing Anna tonight. She believes that's the only way to ensure that their mistakes are never exposed. Powell asks Ivan about strangling Javi, but Ivan tells him to trust him instead of Anna. He forces Paul to focus on the case. The two men begin to consider how to kill her. They consider using bullets, but they want a way that will leave no trace and won't be found in a postmortem. Ivan finds some sheets in a nearby closet and gives them to Powell. The two men then press sheets over Anna's face to suffocate her. After a while, Anna stops struggling, revealing that she has died. Next, they retrieve Javi's body from the room next door. Ivan brings out the trash can, in which they hide Javi's body. Ivan then tells Powell that he will throw away the trash can while Powell puts Anna's body back in the morgue queue. However, before doing so, Paul has to make sure that Anna looks the same as she did when she arrived at the hospital that evening. He begins scrubbing Anna's body with a sponge to erase the marks she left on her body while trying to escape. Meanwhile, Ivan pushes the trash can out and leaves Javi's body on the side of the trash can. Paul finishes cleaning Anna's body and covers it with a white sheet. He then returns the cart to its original position. Powell picks up his bag and prepares to leave, but he goes back to Anna's body. He pulls the sheet off and whispers that she has to keep pretending to be dead in order to escape. So, Powell purposely doesn't strangle her hard enough to kill her, giving her a chance to escape when he and Ivan leave. Later, Ivan inspects Anna's body, and although she is pretending, Ivan is too stupid to realize it. The two friends then leave. Heading to the elevator, Ivan suddenly remembers that he left his ID there. Paul tries to convince him not to go back, but Ivan persists. Upon returning to the morgue, Ivan is shocked to see Anna wearing a hospital gown. He immediately realizes that Paul had tricked him and helped Anna pretend she was dead. Enraged and betrayed, Ivan brutally attacks Paul, and chaos ensues once again. But in the midst of the chaos, Anna appears with a pair of surgical scissors. Swiftly, she stabs Ivan until he dies, thus saving Paul's life. Relieved to have killed her attacker, Paul suggests they leave. However, Anna's desire for revenge is not satiated. With a stoic expression on her face, she turns on Paul and stabs him as well. Anna is determined to make Paul pay for what he did to her. He may have eventually accepted her help, but the trauma he suffered that night is also the reason for it. The film ends with Anna collapsed on the ground, and she finally takes revenge on those who defiled her.